What's up, guys? Robert Monoko here, visual artist, filmmaker, Mau Mau Arts collective director. But today I want to go through a video by journalist, or rather former news anchor Pauline Mukiri, or Muthoni wa Mukiri, where she talks about major qualities of a high value man. Again, I would have to say that this lady is very accomplished. I mean, she is someone who I would say qualifies to give such advice because, for one, I say there's no way you could be getting a relationship advice from somebody who is not in a long-term relationship, and in this case, she's in a marriage. So that's a thumbs up already. She's somebody who is married, she's a mature woman, she's professional, and I believe she has certain certifications when it comes to coaching. So let's hear what Muthoni wa Mukiri says about a high value man.
And today I want us to focus on who is a high value man, because I get women telling me, Muthoni, I'm working, I'm making good money for my high value man.
Okay, let's start with that. Most women tell me, I'm working to make good money for my high value man. Again, I will not get too much into it, but most men do not value, or rather are not attracted to your professional. Most men are not attracted to your professional achievements. And most men who already are, the things we'll hear her saying just now, don't need you to support them by bringing in more money. Anyway, let's continue.
I'm looking to dating a high value man. And to some ladies, they think a high value man is a man who's wealthy, a man who's rich, a man who has a lot of money. No, that is not a high value man. That's a man who's making good money. There are other important components, characteristics to look out for.
Well, I agree with that notion that having money alone does not make you a high value man. But what we must remember is it's part of high value. You can't be homeless, as Kevin Samuel says, and be high value. And again, you'll see when we continue, this point will come up through her own lips.
A high value man has masculinity. He's a masculine man. He embodies masculinity. By masculinity, I'm talking about the ability to provide and to protect. Amen?
You see what I said right there. A man, she says, a high value man is someone who is masculine. Masculinity, she says, is the ability to provide and protect. You ain't providing nothing if you're broke. So you cannot wish away money. I'm not saying money is the only component, but then again, it is part of high value. Let's continue.
Now, a man will provide and protect by how he talks about his role as a man, by how he shows up when you're dating. Does he suggest places you can go for dinner? Does he pay for dinner? Does he want to open the door for you? Does he want to let you order as the first person?
Well, she's conflating a number of things here. While I do agree with her for the most part, a man who is a provider, now she's gone into the second thing. It's actually 3 P's. If we are going biblical, it's 3 P's: prophet, provider, protector. She's not said much about the prophet, which is basically leadership. Leadership implies that you lead, that you are doing what is in the best interest of the family, not necessarily by talking about anything. She's gone to issues such as opening the door, making sure you order fast. Those are very good things, but they're not masculinity. That's chivalry. Chivalry is fine. It's a choice. You can be a gentleman. But what would be more of leadership is enabling your woman to be in a position where she can make those choices in a safe space. So masculinity is in the frame of protecting, providing, and leading, or what in the Bible they call prophet, provider, protector. So let's continue.
How he talks about when, as a husband, these are some of the conversations I said you should be having in the talking stage. How he talks about as a husband, how does he want to show up?
Again, I see a lot of how he talks. Ladies, what I'll just tell you is this: Masculinity, for the most part, is demonstrated and it's not said. You'd rarely get a leader, even in on a macro scale at the national level. You don't see very good leaders always talking. They end up they normally lead by their actions. You see their policies, you see the decisions they make. That's what informs whether they are masculine or whether they are good leaders or not. So again, I'm not so into this thing of he keeps talking. You can see by the way he talks. He doesn't have to say anything, but it's by how he moves, his frame.
Does he take initiative? Does he suggest? Does he try to help you? If you come with him and tell him, you know, today my day has been so stressful, my boss is doing this and that, does he try?
That issue of does he try, does he take initiative? Initiative should not be about supporting you in the things that you feel he should do. Because remember, prophet, provider, protector, if you've had a bad day with your boss, yes, he may listen to you. He's your hubby, he's your husband. But do not expect him to like, and again, we've seen this many times when men offer solutions, women again say, I didn't want your solutions, I just wanted someone to talk to. Understand something, ladies. If you're dealing with that kind and caliber of a guy, he's probably has his own day. He's out there slaying dragons so that, as you so rightfully said, he can pay the rent, he can provide for you. So chances are, when you have such issues, you may bring them up to him in terms of him getting a solution. But it's not about his initiative. You take the initiative to bring up something that may be detrimental to the home. In this case, a bad boss, so that it does not degenerate into something that will affect the family. However, again, prophet, provider, protector, back to prophet and the leader, he decides how to go about it. It's not about being at your beck and call whenever you have a small issue and doing what you think he should do. Leaders make decisions, and those decisions are informed by the support you would give him as a wife.
High value man is a man who has self-control. Hallelujah. Self-control. You don't want a chronic cheat. There's nothing high value about a man with multiple women. There's nothing high value about a man who just does one night stands left, right, and center. There's nothing high value about that.
I agree with this to the point that a man is somebody who is in emotional control. Emotional control, and he's in check of his faculties. Men gravitate to sex in the same way women gravitate to attention. I will repeat that. Men gravitate to sex, and it's a natural order of things, the way women gravitate to attention. This is natural wiring. This is biological wiring. It's only when it runs amok that things go haywire. For example, men are naturally wired to have sex because they want to spread their seed. And it's natural, even in the animal kingdom. When a lion, for example, joins a new pride and takes over, the first thing it does, it kills the cubs of the previous lion because it wants to start its own bloodline. So men naturally would gravitate to sex. Cheating is another thing. Cheating is a choice. I would not cheat. I would not advocate for cheating. But what you have to understand is the more options a man has, the more likely he is to cheat. The more likely he is to succumb to that urge of spreading his seed. And it's a natural thing. It's a choice. It's not that he should do it. It's not that it would be the right thing, but it's his choice. And remember one thing, a man who is higher in value overall, we'll go into these things later, is somebody who has options. In the same way, a woman who is high in her value, and the value in women is calculated differently. It's not about her resources and her ability to provide, but rather about her appearance and her sex appeal and her youth and her fertility and her cooperativeness, what you would all lump and say femininity. The higher up a woman is in terms of being attractive to this high value man, the harder, the more options she has for attention. You don't find obese women getting attention and modeling contracts left, right, and center. Attention. Likewise, the women who are fit, friendly, feminine, and very attractive have more attention options. But then again, they do not have to indulge in those options. They can choose not to because, for example, if you're a married woman, you know that it would be tantamount to cheating to indulge attention from other men. even though you have the choice. So anyway, cheating is a whole topic. Let's continue.
A high value man is also a man who respects himself, is also a man who has self-control. That is very important, by the way. Because I see some video.
Yep, I agree with that. Self-control, important. Again, women, take note. This also applies to emotions. You don't want to say a man is emotionally non-present, because men deal with things differently. So as you say that in terms of cheating, remember, even when it comes to other things, he may handle it differently and not how a woman would handle it.
The third important characteristic of a high value man is a man who sets boundaries, who tells you, don't call me at midnight when you're drunk. Yeah, who tells you, don't come to my house unannounced. Who tells you don't, who sets boundaries. There's a difference between boundaries and controlling, and insecure controlling men.
Yeah, I agree with her again on this. And I'm glad she's saying this, because many times women interchange boundaries, standards with controlling. They say this man is controlling. But the truth is, when a man you're with is telling you what he can tolerate or not, and if you're happy with it, it's a boundary. When you're unhappy with it, he's controlling. You can't have it both ways. But then again, if it's about control, remember one thing: you choose to be with the people you are with. So if a man sets certain boundaries down, for example, he tells you from the outset, he tells you, I do not date women who drink. Obviously, you are not getting, and you drink, it won't get anywhere with him. It's like a deal breaker. That's not controlling. He's just setting boundaries. Likewise, women always say what men should be. I don't want a man who is A, B, C, D. And we say, okay, cool. So the same standards you apply when you're vetting your men, understand that men also have standards. And the higher value, if you're calling him high value, he cannot be high value without standards.
You can get a man who is making a lot of money, who has the, your dream car, who has the best perfume you've ever smelled. But if he's a chronic cheat, if he has no boundaries, if he cannot provide and protect, he's just a feminine guy.
She keeps saying this thing about cheat. I suspect there's some undealt trauma there about cheating, but I agree, I accept, and I'll say this again. Cheating is something I would never do myself, personally. I have had options, but I choose not to. Cheating is a choice. But I'll say this again. The higher value a man is, because of biological wiring to gravitate to spreading his seed, the more options he has. He's not bringing diseases, as people say. He's not putting your name to shame, and he's not bringing outside children. I don't know, will you ditch the baby with the bathwater? Likewise, women gravitate to attention. You have a plethora of men in your DMs who you sometimes respond to. Also ask yourself, can I unlock my phone and give my husband? And at any time, if you can do that, well, let's continue.
Who you don't want to date someone just because they are rich, and then every other day you have insecurity. You're wondering, oh, has he cheated on me? Or why did he talk to that waiter like that?
Notice how this is like the 4th time she's brought up cheating. I'm offering an olive branch here in terms of bridging this rift about cheating and attention between men and women. Pauline Mukiri, if you watch this response video, we can have a one-to-one conversation with this. Why does this cheating thing keep coming up in your conversations? Anyway, let's continue.
A masculine man to date you also have to show up as a feminine woman who's okay, a man taking care of her, who's okay with a man opening the door, who's okay helping. It doesn't mean you're helpless. It doesn't mean you don't have a job.
No. Now that's where I part ways with you, Pauline. The issue is femininity. I don't know. I'll give you the benefit of doubt. I've not read your book. Maybe I'll buy a copy and read. Maybe there's more people watching this video can get from your book. But in this entire 7-minute video, you've said what a man, this so-called high-value man, should do for the woman, but you've not said anything other than the fact that a woman should be present, feminine, and she should be treated, he should do things for her with regard to how this woman should prepare for this high-value man. I wish for every point you gave about high-value man, you gave a point about how you can prepare yourself to warrant this high-value man. because high value implies he's a top percentile of the people you want, or the people women want. 90% of women want 10% of men. These high value men, I presume. So what are these? What will differentiate these 90% for these 10% to choose some women from here? Because you see, there'll always be an imbalance. All the high value men, if they were to get married today, there will be 90% of unmarried women, because the high value men are 10%. So what you should have said, I wish you did, is one, for example, you should be in the best shape and form as a woman, because you want the best thing. You can't want the best and you're not the best. And also, you can't want the best and you're not the best, and you're oblivious to the fact that you're competing with a host of other women who are doing the work. These women are fit, women who are physically fit, women who are going for femininity coaching, who know how to keep a home, who know how to be motherly, supportive, nurturing, submissive, cooperative, friendly, inspiring, can cook, have a recipe book, know how to support their husbands. These are things a woman should be. In fact, the Bible says he who finds a wife. It doesn't say he who finds a woman. So you already have to be a wife. And what does that mean? I'm assuming you already know, because one, you're a wife. Two, you already say femininity. And that's a very powerful thing. If we have the same understanding of femininity, then indeed it means you are talking to the women who are already wives. I'll assume that. I will give you the benefit of doubt. You're already talking to women who are wives, because those are the women that these high value men want. Let me summarize all that stuff that I've said. It comes down to this. What do the men that you want? What do the men that you want? And are you those things? So anyway, Pauline, as I said, I'm willing to have a conversation on this. We could even have more panelists, and then we can talk about this. I feel this is something that would add value if done properly. So kudos on the video, and peace. I'm out.